Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Michaela Mayer is a world titleist again. She wins the WBO welterweight title with a majority decision over Sandy Ryan. This took place in New York. Should have been a unanimous verdict in my opinion. I had Michaela winning 97-93, which is 7 rounds to 3. Someone had it 95-95. I don't see that at all. Someone had it 96-94, and I think the other judge did have it 97-93, same as me. Yeah, this was a very, very impressive performance by Michaela Mayer, who last held belts at super featherweight. God knows how she made super featherweight. I don't know how tall this woman is. She looks about 5'9", maybe 5'10", something like that. But she carried the welterweight poundage, really well. Yeah, I mean, super featherweight. She must have been starving herself. Anyway, Sandy she came in as the champion. Sandy's from Derbyshire, from Derby actually, in Britain. And she was last seen stopping Terry Harper in 4 rounds. Terry is another super featherweight who moved up. And she was too physical for Terry. She was too good, too heavy-handed. Prior to that, she got a split draw with Jessica McCaskill, which, in my opinion, should have been a win for Sandy. So she's fought, decent level opposition. I mean, Terry Harper was never a welterweight, but then you could say coming in that neither was Michaela Mayer. And Michaela really, this was an excellent example of somebody boxing a very aggressive fight, but on the back foot. So in other words, she wasn't getting involved. She wasn't standing there and having a punch up, but she was being very aggressive by keeping the distance and letting her hands go. I mean, in the early rounds, she completely outworked Sandy. Michaela used, staying on the back foot, not running. Don't mistake it for running. This is not running, okay? This is being very aggressive, but sort of drawing the opponent onto you and bang, bang, bang. And in the first round, she landed, I think, it's a terrific right hand. She's an orthodox fighter, Michaela, as is Sandy. And she kind of, used little semicircles. It was circling her a little bit, then the other way. And Sandy, it took Sandy a few rounds to get her rhythm going, to find some sort of distance. Bear in mind, as I always say with these women's fights, I always say this, 20 minutes of fighting, 10-2s, is only 2 minutes more than a men's 6-rounder. So you've got to fight a certain type of fight to win on points, to win a fight like that. You've got to be very, very busy, very busy. There are no rounds to give away as you find your feet. This is what Michaela did. She's 34 years old now, which is not particularly young. It's not old, but it's not particularly young. But the fact that she used all that energy over, she kind of not gambled, but she fought the correct style of fight. She started quick. She used up lots of energy, and it was a sprint rather than a marathon. And she knew she was faster than Sandy. As someone who was lighter and is coming up, you might expect them to be, quicker. Maybe the volume of punches is quicker. But there was no doubt who had the heavier hands, and that was Sandy. Because there were rounds where Sandy was landing the punches, and Michaela said in the post-fight interview she likes a bit of a row. She likes to sort of get stuck in, which is okay, fair enough, but you don't really want to do it against someone who's been a sort of career welterweight, someone who's is used to that poundage. I think the last time Michaela fought, actually the last time was against Natasha Jonas. That was at welterweight too, but she sort of she moved from super feather to lightweight and then jumped up to welter. The women can do this. They move up and down the weights quite rapidly because there's lots of opportunities to be had. Make no mistake about it, though, even though this was a 10-2s and not a 10-3s or 12-3s, the quality of the boxing, not just from Michaela, but from Sandy also, was very, very high. This wasn't a case of, okay, I've got to get my work done, so I'm going to get stuck in and bang, 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 bang. No. There was some really good technique. This was really an excellent performance by Michaela Mayer, really impressive. And it wasn't necessarily that Sandy did anything wrong, because, like I say, there were rounds when she got close and was not hurting, but getting Michaela's attention. Don't get me wrong, with the other way around, it's also true, because Michaela was pinging some nice little backhand shots off Sandy. And like I say, I had this 97, 93. I thought Michaela did. I thought she just outboxed and outworked Sandy. Now, if this had been, say, a 12-3s, yeah, different gig entirely. I think Sandy would have, at the very least, made this very, very close, very close. Probably, she may well have beaten Michaela over 12-3s, because if you start that quickly and you're that busy, eventually you get chopped down. I mean, there's so much you can get chopped down, but there's so much of a difference between fighting for 20 minutes and fighting for 36. Because, if you're more to Sandy's style, you'd be able to, work your way in, land hurtful individual punches, go through the gears in the middle rounds, and in the last third of the fight, you bring it on strong, start throwing your combinations, huge salvos, and you stop a weary opponent. Over 10-2s, unless the opponent really is going hell for leather, without any breaks whatsoever, they're not going to be exhausted after 20 minutes. They might be tired at the end of it, but they'll be able to do it. This is the argument against the 10-2s distance for women. The pro for women is that it's exciting, and make no mistake about it, this was an exciting fight, very, very skillful fight, which kind of belies this idea that women can't fight. It is not the fact that women can't fight. Women can fight, but the dearth of talent is evident, because hence the reason women can move up and down the weight divisions to find opportunities. There are some very, very good female fighters in the world, and Michaela Mayer is definitely one of them. I think you can make a very strong case for Michaela Mayer, who's now 20 wins with 5 KOs, 2 defeats. I think you can make a case for being undefeated, because she had a fight with Natasha Jonas where she lost a split decision. That was for the IBF welterweight title over in Liverpool. So she went into the girls' backyard, into Natasha's backyard. Yeah, I thought Michaela edged it, to be honest with you. Edged that fight. Tough fight. Then you go back to 2022, back down at Super Feather for an undisputed fight against Alicia Baumgardner, and she lost a split decision. There's no doubt in my mind that she beat Baumgardner. No doubt in my mind at all. I thought she won that. I can't remember what I had it, but I definitely had her a few rounds ahead. So you can make a case for Michaela being undefeated. But Sandy can come again. Make no mistake about it. She lost her belt. She's 31 now. She slips to 7 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. But she is a good fighter. She is a good fighter. But there was only one winner for me, in this fight, and that was Michaela. Where's she going to go now? A rematch with Jonas, maybe? I think that would be good. But I don't think Michaela's going to want to come to Britain again. She's twice gone to Britain and lost split decisions. And to be honest, I don't really blame her. I don't blame her. I mean, she speaks, very well of Britain. She likes Britain, she says. But when you go over there and you lose split decisions, and it's got to go through your mind, something's going on here. I'm not getting the fair rub of the green, as I say. But I hope both these girls were well paid, because they put on a very, very good fight, and it headlined in New York, which is no bad thing. It's a top-ranked promotion. Michaela's with Top Rank. Sandy's with Matchroom. She rolled the dice going over there defending her belt, and she can win another belt. Maybe Sandy can come back and fight Natasha Jonas for her IBF belt, an all-British affair. There is one little thing I want to mention before I wrap up here, and that is that as she was leaving her hotel, Sandy Ryan had a pot of paint thrown over her. Now, that is a shit cunt thing to do, all right? And if you're watching this, if you had anything to do with that and you're watching this, you're a cunt. And I would say that to your face. Don't make any mistake about it. If that's your idea of how to treat anyone, never mind a woman who's going into the ring, who's brave enough, which you fucking ain't, to get into the ring and fight someone else, fight another world-class fighter. If that's your idea of how to treat someone, you're trash. You and your pathetic life are about as relevant as the dust on this fucking camera screen, all right? You scum. And don't think for a split second I wouldn't say that to your face, because I fucking would. That absolutely repulsive behaviour. Repulsive. They asked Michaela about it afterwards, and she said, "Look, I don't condone that. It's just going way too far. Because Michaela and Sandy had some beef up beforehand. Michaela was very vocal in, trash talking Sandy. Sandy ain't really a talker, so she just let her get on with it, really. Said a few things. And she said, Michaela said, I had nothing to do with that. Okay, I'm going to believe, would believe that. There's no reason to believe that Michaela had anything to do with that. But one of her fans, in inverted commas, is obviously the scum of the earth, really, So, yeah, I hope that whoever did that gets nicked and gets prosecuted. Because it's obviously assault, isn't it? Throwing paint over people. How pathetic can you get? Anyway, let's concentrate on the fight, which was a very, very good fight. Well done to Michaela for winning. Commiserations to Sandy. It was a good, entertaining fight. Again, another fight that elevates women's boxing. And, have you got any thoughts about it? Did you like the fight? What did you think of it? What do you think of these fighters? Do you think it should have been a unanimous decision rather than a majority decision? I certainly do. Leave your comments below. And, thanks very much. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.